to Roadies Roam the World, and thanks for joining us for episode 4 of our Alaska trip, where we continue to travel south on the Richardson Highway from Copper Center to Valdez, Alaska. As we leave Copper Center that morning, the Wrangell St. Elias mountain range starts to come into view, and we get to explore our very first glacier, Worthington Glacier. Worthington Glacier is located in Thompson Pass, 29 miles north of Valdez. It's a typical valley glacier that is easy to access by foot. There is a nice short walking path down to the glacier face. It was designated a National Natural Landmark in 1968 and is 5,744 acres large. The ice melt from the glacier flows into the Klutina River, which flows from the Klutina Glacier, and connects with the Tycho River, which eventually connects to the Copper River. Our next stop is Valdez for 2 nights. The drive down into Valdez is beautiful, and we saw lots of waterfalls. The 2 most popular waterfalls we visited were Bridal Veil Falls and Horsetail Falls. Bridal Veil Falls is located in Keystone Canyon and cascades down hundreds of feet through the canyon into the Lowe River. In the winter, Bridal Veil Falls freezes, creating an opportunity for ice climbers to scale the falls. Valdez hosts the Ice Climbing Festival each winter, where climbers can scale the 600 feet up the Grade 5 pillar of ice. Bridal Veil Falls is the largest waterfall in Keystone Canyon and the tallest roadside waterfall in Alaska. In the driest parts of the summer, this waterfall can slow to a trickle, but we did not witness that. We were there during the rainy season, and rainy it was. We didn't see a dry day until we got to Seward, Alaska towards the end of the trip. This water was flowing strong from all the rain we were getting. Valdez, Alaska is a small town located near the head of a deep fjord in Prince William Sound, surrounded by the Chugach Mountains. As mentioned in a previous video, the Trans-Alaska Pipeline was built to carry oil from the Prudhoe Bay oil fields in northern Alaska to a terminal in Valdez, the nearest ice-free port. Oil is loaded onto tankers for transport. The first tanker to be loaded with pipeline oil was the Arco Juneau in early August 1977. You may remember the Exxon Valdez oil spill that occurred in 1989 as the oil tanker Exxon Valdez was leaving the Valdez terminal with a full load of oil. The spill occurred at Bly Reef, 25 miles from Valdez, and it devastated much of the marine life in the area. This disaster occurred on March 24th, 1989, which was on Good Friday. Another Good Friday disaster that impacted Valdez was the Good Friday earthquake that struck Valdez on March 27, 1964. The earthquake struck at 5:36 in the evening, lasted over 4 minutes, and registered an 8.6 on the Richter scale. The quake caused an underwater landslide, which turned into several enormous waves. The first waves washed away the Valdez waterfront and drowned the 32 people who had been standing at the dock. Valdez was condemned when it was discovered that the town had been built on unstable ground. The town was relocated to its present-day location in 1967. While in Valdez, we visited the Solomon Gulch fish hatchery, where we had the opportunity to see a black bear eating its breakfast on the beach and some fat sea lions feasting on a salmon buffet. And there were hundreds of birds feasting on the salmon as well. Solomon Gulch Fish Hatchery has a permitted green egg capacity to incubate 270 million pink salmon and 2 million coho salmon each year. These egg capacities are strictly controlled by the state of Alaska. The water of the hatchery is provided by the Solomon Gulch hydroelectric plant. The gulch has a nice healthy flow this time of year. Spawning takes place in the late summer. Hatchery staff may spawn as many as 16,000 adult broodstock each day. The fish return to the spawning building by using the fish ladder, which carry the fish from saltwater to raceways on shore. In early spring, the fry emerge and are ready to go to sea. This process is known as ocean ranching. average adult return to the hatchery is approximately 15.8 million adult pink and 83,000 coho salmon. We visited an old railroad tunnel in Keystone Canyon that was hand-drilled. Back in the early 1900s, when copper was discovered outside of McCarthy along the Kennecott Glacier, there was a race to build the first railroad tracks from the Kennecott mine to the port where the copper could be loaded onto boats. The railroad was never completed. Horsetail Falls is located in Keystone Canyon, just a few miles south of Bridal Veil Falls on the other side of the canyon. This is also a falls used in the Ice Climbing Festival. It is a grade 3 climb that ascends about 260 feet. Near Horsetail Falls is the Wagon Road trailhead. This is the only hike we were able to attempt while in Valdez. The Wagon Road is a section of the Trans-Alaska Military Trail that connected Valdez to interior Alaska during the gold rush. Originally called the 1899 Pack Trail, the trail was upgraded to accommodate sleds, wagons, and eventually automobiles. Mom had to turn around because there was so much rain, parts of the trail were flooded. We also had to go up a steep hill that luckily had tree roots accessible to use as grips. We didn't go to the end of the trail, which ends at Lowe River / Bear Creek. We didn't want to be gone too long since we had our parents waiting for us back in the RV. Valdez, Alaska is surrounded by a mix of tidewater glaciers, mountains, and Pacific temperate rainforests. This is, in fact, our first hike through a rainforest. Surprisingly, Valdez has a really nice museum. We needed to get out of the rain, so we decided to check it out. The Maxine and Jesse Whitney Museum contains some of the largest collections of Native American art and artifacts in the world. Maxine collected many of these artifacts by traveling to the native villages throughout the territory, buying items directly from the artists to sell in her gift shop. Maxine assumed ownership of the Eskimo Museum in Fairbanks and continued collecting until the mid-1980s. In 1998, Miss Whitney donated her collection to Prince William Sound Community College. The items were stored until the museum was built and opened adjacent to the college in May 2008. We got out of Valdez just in time, in my opinion. As you can see from our drive out, the flooding was getting worse and was dangerously close to crossing the road in some areas. As we start to ascend, we say goodbye to Valdez and look forward to our next stop, Matanuska Glacier on the Glen Highway. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Roadies Roam the World.